Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is AES and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's review will focus on a game that made me a little nervous from the moment I pressed the start button. I watched its announcements a few years ago and it immediately reminded me of a movie called Starship Troopers. It made me hooked. I purchased the game and played it at launch. Unfortunately, I was not prepared for how gosh darn hard it was, and I dropped it. Thankfully, I went back to it a few days ago, and I'm glad that I did. Despite its grueling difficulty, I'm excited to review this game for you all right now. Without further ado, let us review Helldivers, which was played on the PlayStation 4. The story in Helldivers is not presented in a typical fashion. In order to understand what the purpose of your actions is during your playtime with the game, you must focus on the world building instead of its lore. In general, you are a Helldiver, a protector of a futuristic version of Earth called Super Earth, which makes me chuckle every time. Anyway, you are tasked with defending Super Earth and eliminate 3 different types of enemies: the bugs, the cyborgs, and the illuminates, the latter of which are the more sophisticated type of alien life. That is the story in a nutshell, and in this case, I believe it is acceptable because Helldivers is not played for its story, it is played for its gameplay, which we will cover shortly. First, however, let's discuss the sound design and visuals of Helldivers. The music is serviceable, showcasing intensity on different scales at different points. Its escalation is mostly noticeable during the last part of any mission, where you must wait a minute and a half to evacuate any given location. The sound effects for the enemies, guns, and explosions are decent, and the voice acting, at least what is present, is good. I personally do not understand why such a small portion of the text was voice acted instead of the entire text, as it could have helped relay the tension of the battles and provide character developments for individuals who are unmemorable otherwise. Nevertheless, I do not have any major issues with the game's sound. In terms of visuals, I would describe it in the same way that I described the music: serviceable. The top-down viewed characters are nicely designed, and the animations did not have any hiccups or glitches in my playthrough. One aspect of the visuals that must be commended is the lighting while you are on your ship and prepping for your missions. It is a minute instance, but the lighting at headquarters is surprisingly really good. The visuals won't win any awards, but they are well presented as a whole. It is time to focus our attention on the meat and potatoes of Helldivers, the gameplay. As I previously mentioned, you play as a Helldiver who must protect Super Earth from various threats. Once you're done with the tutorial, you're able to travel to headquarters and prepare to engage in various missions, which task you with destroying alien hives, fix broken allied equipment, capture a certain zone on the map, or carry an important object from point A to point B. What's cool about these missions is that most of them require you to enter a certain code with the directional path to complete the objective, which gives you the impression that you are actually there and inputting the code to accomplish the task. Throughout the levels, you will most certainly kill dangerous enemies, and you have a number of tools at your disposal. You have a primary and secondary weapon, grenades, melee attacks, and something called stratagems, which are special requests that will be delivered to your location. Those requests include additional ammunition, missile strikes, cavalry, which is going to be very important at the later portion of the game, and turret guns. Once you finish a mission, you receive a score and experience points, which will allow you to unlock new weapons and stratagems, as well as research points, which can be used to upgrade your character. Customization of the character itself is very minimal, but the upgrades that can be done are great. Now, remember at the beginning of this review when I mentioned the game's difficulty? Let's talk about it, shall we? Even though you can upgrade your character, Helldivers does not waste any time with letting you know that the enemies do not play any games. You must be constantly moving and ideally play with a group of friends or strangers via the title's online functionality. A few shots from an enemy's gunfire or melee hits will knock you down, and if you are not careful, you will be terminated within seconds. Every mission will name its specific difficulty, of which there are 15 settings, ranging from Dive in the Park, the easiest difficulty, to the Inner Circle of Hell, which is the hardest difficulty. Some of the latter missions require you to play on higher difficulties, which can take away some of the game's enjoyment if you are playing solo. Fortunately, playing with a group of people alleviates many of the difficulty-related issues. For one, an ally can get you up on your feet when knocked down much faster than simply tapping X repeatedly by yourself to stand up. Secondly, you obviously have more firepower with 4 people instead of 1 player. Lastly, you can use the previously stated cavalry stratagem to revive enemies who are terminated. The game is brutal, but if it is experienced as a cooperative game, Helldivers is really sublime. Helldivers is one of those games that I would recommend as a cooperative experience, despite the fact that you can play by yourself. It is a Starship Troopers experience for which we have all been waiting. However, it will be very difficult for you to survive the bugs, cyborgs, and illuminates by yourself. Just like it will be hard for the soldiers in the Starship Troopers movies to survive the hostile landscapes by themselves. It is a great game, but be forewarned before you decide to enter its hellish environments. In the end, I will give Helldivers an 8 out of 10. At this time, I would like to thank you all for watching the video. What do you think about it? Have you played Helldivers? What did you think about the game? Please let me know in the comment section below, and I would very much appreciate it if you liked the video, share it, and subscribe. Till next time, have yourself a great day or evening wherever you are. My name is AES, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.